Hey, I'm Ben Fisher, the owner and tattoo artist here at Inkrush, based in Wakefield, UK. And today I want to talk about how much tattoos hurt. In this video, I'm going to do my absolute best to explain how getting a tattoo feels, how location and time makes a huge difference, and also a few little tips and tricks to make the whole thing a lot more enjoyable. So if you're new to getting tattooed and not sure what to expect, please make sure you watch this video to the very end. Now I get asked the question, how much do tattoos hurt? Probably on a daily basis from tattoo newbies, and to be honest, it's a pretty hard question because I've tattooed tons and tons of people and everybody responds to it differently. Now, because everybody responds different to getting a tattoo, when answering the question, how much do they hurt, there isn't really a one answer fits all, but I'm gonna try and explain it from my own personal experience and also from most common responses from, like I say, years of experience tattooing literally thousands of customers. Now, the best way I've found to explain how a tattoo feels is kind of like a hot scratch that varies in intensity. On every tattoo, you'll find some parts that hurt more than others, and some parts feel more like a vibration on skin and not painful at all. Now I ain't gonna lie, in my opinion, tattoos hurt, but it's a pain that's bearable. I always say to my customers, it hurts, but not enough for you to say stop. It feels strange to some people because they're in pain, but they don't say stop and can still sit through the entire process. So if you are worried about jumping out of a chair, moving, or not being able to go through with it all and being left with a half-complete tattoo, please let me reassure you that, again, I've literally tattooed tons of people and I've only ever had one person stop due to pain, and that was after an 8-hour sitting. And also, I've never had a customer jump or move about to the extent that I've either had to stop tattooing or that the end result of the tattoo has been affected in any way at all. Location of the tattoo is probably the biggest factor in how much a tattoo hurts. And there are obviously some areas at body that'll typically hurt more than others. But again, these are just rules of thumb. And for some of you, it may be totally different. One myth that I just want to quickly clear up is that bony bits hurt more. And if it's on a fatty or meaty bit at body, then this is less painful. Well, that's kind of like saying if you're mega fat, then you don't feel pain, yeah? Definitely not. And I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure that it's nerve endings that feel sensations, not bone or fat. These nerves send messages through neurological pathways to the brain. Brain then reads these messages and says either, yeah, that hurts, or ooh, that's nice. Nerves feel things, not fat, not bone, as some people think. Now, parts of body that most people find a little more painful are, for example, top at foot. This can sometimes be a little face twister. Right at the bottom, on inside the wrist, near the hand. For some reason, I don't know why, but it seems to hurt a lot more, and it almost feels like it's a lot hotter and more of a burning sensation near the wrist. That's how I found it anyway. Also, on inner and outer elbow. Now, right on inside where forearm and bicep meet, for most, nips a little bit and is far from nice. But again, like bottom at wrist, people say this area feels more like a burning sensation and a little bit sharper in this area. Now, outer elbow is mixed reviews really. Most people dread getting this area done, but I've found some say it really hurts and others don't mind it at all, so it is mixed reviews. One variant that does play a huge factor when getting elbow tattooed is the lifestyle that you lead. So just as an example, for someone that's got an outdoor manual job, they might have really thick skin on elbow, and this causes your tattoo artist to have to work that area a lot more just to try and retain ink, which because you work in that area, then obviously it's going to hurt a little bit more as well. One tip when getting your elbow done, and this applies anywhere really, but more so on elbow and knee, is try to have your skin in the best condition it can possibly be in. Moisturise it every day during the build-up to getting your tattoo, and try to keep the skin nice and supple. This will just help skin and make it a much easier tattoo. However, Don't be blabbering creams on the day or a couple of days before the day of your tattoo. You want your skin to be as clean as possible and not clogged up with all creams and whatever else you've been putting on. Another area that people typically find to be more painful is the centre of the chest and around sternum area. Also along collarbones. Now these can typically be quite eye-watering, but just think at end result while you're getting them done and I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. I know when I got my collarbone bit done, I was in absolute bits, but it didn't last long and I absolutely love my tattoo, so it was well worth it. Another few areas that people find more painful is down centre at spine, rib area, especially right down at bottom near hip and right at top near your armpit. Also front and back at knee. I think generally speaking the outside area of any body part is going to be slightly more painful than the centre of that body part. So your forearm, for example, will be more nippy and sharp around the outer top and bottom edges, opposed to in the centre where it'll be generally a lot more bearable. If you're getting a half chest, so something to cover your full pec at one side, then this is going to be a lot more sore again, along collarbone and all the way around the outer edge. And the centre of that body part is going to be a lot more enjoyable. So another factor that plays a huge part in how much a tattoo hurts, apart from the location, is size at tattoo and how long that tattoo takes, which both kind of go hand in hand. Now, generally speaking, the larger the design, the longer the tattoo is going to take. And anybody watching that's got plenty of large tattoos knows firsthand that there's kind of like a pain curve when getting tattooed, and the pain varies dramatically depending on how many hours you're under needle for. Now, pain doesn't necessarily start low and increase as time goes on. And I think the easiest way to explain this is if I jump on whiteboard, show you a little graph, just so you can see it as well as listen to me explaining it. And hopefully, if you've never had tattoos, this will be a good way of showing you kinda what pain's like on a time scale level. Let's go to whiteboard. Yeah, I feel like a teacher. Alright, so this is graph, as you can see. Pain goes up left-hand side. Time tattoo takes goes across the bottom. Now please, if you want to share your experience to give people an insight to how a tattoo feels, please leave it in comments below. But I find that when you first start, the pain is quite high. Between medium and high. But then after the first 10 to 15 minutes, you kind of calm down and it becomes a lot more bearable. It might be that the body's in shock and almost trying to prepare you for pain, but for them first 10-15 minutes, it's not nice. But after that, and for the next few hours, pain kind of drops back down and levels out with just odd spikes here and there, but majority of it been all right. So it starts off quite high. 10-15 minutes, it drops, levels out with just odd little spikes, some bigger than others, for the next few hours. Now after a few hours, and for some that could be 2 or 3, while others it could be much more, but almost everybody I've tattooed reaches a point where that pain starts to increase. Like I said, this could be 2 hours, for some it could be 8 hours. But eventually you're going to reach the point where pain just starts to increase as time goes on. And it's going to come up to it's really painful at this point. Now then, at this point it's going to be pretty sore everywhere, and we're constantly wiping and cleaning it. Even areas that were tattooed at the very beginning are going to start to become really sore and painful. A lot of people say that it's almost like really bad sunburn or a nasty graze, and that the wiping and cleaning at tattoo actually hurts more than the needle going into the skin. So bear in mind that when you're getting bigger tattoos that are going to take several hours, just be prepared for them to get sore towards end and a lot less enjoyable. However, everybody's different and have different pain tolerances, so for some people they may be able to sit all day and be absolutely fine, but I suppose it's going to be impossible to say how you're going to find it until you actually go ahead and get one done. Finally, I want to cover a few tips and tricks to help your tattoo experience be a good one and hopefully help you manage pain a little bit better. So my first bit of advice would be make sure that you're really well rested on the day of your tattoo. Go to bed as early as you can the night before and make sure that you're feeling fresh. When you're tired and run down, your body deals with pain totally different to how it does when you're as fresh as a daisy and on top form. Secondly, make sure that you've got a good meal inside you before you go for your tattoo. During tattoo, the body will be going through stress for hours on end, and it'll be using a lot more energy than you think, despite just being sat there. So make sure that you've got a good meal in you to keep those blood sugars at a normal level, and this will also help feeling fatigued, faint-headed. So just make sure that you've got some good food inside you before you go for your tattoo. Another tip that I'd recommend is to bring a few sugary snacks, just in case you need to top up them blood sugars during the tattoo. Also, I think it helps hugely to try and take your mind off the tattoo whilst you're getting it done. If you're not a huge speaker or your tattoo artist isn't, then bring something along to entertain yourself. It might be something like listening to music, watching a film, or reading a book. Anything really that you think is going to make it more comfortable to sit and enjoy the tattoo from start to finish, depending on what time it takes to complete. Now, your artist will be trying to do their very best to give you the best tattoo possible. So it's really important that if you do feel pain, just stay calm, keep as still as you possibly can, and just remember that the pain is not going to last forever. It only hurts whilst you're getting it done. The tattoo is going to be there for an absolute lifetime. So just concentrate on that end result, do your best to stay still, and just enjoy it the best that you can. I really hope that if you haven't got a tattoo, and keep asking yourself, how does it feel? That I've answered you best that I can. But all I can really say is you won't know until you get it done. The majority of people say it was not as bad as what they thought it was going to be prior to getting it done. So please don't let nerves put you off getting something that you want. And again, if you're watching this and have tattoos, if you don't mind sharing your experience, then please add it into comments below. Or if your experience was totally different to how I've tried to explain it, I'd love to hear from you as well. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and a share. And if there's any tattoo related topics that you want me to cover in future videos, then please leave them in comments below as well. And lastly, if you're watching this on Facebook and know anybody that needs to watch this, add them into comments and make sure that you're liking Inkrush page. And for those watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, because I'll be uploading at least one video every week. Cheers, and hopefully see you soon.